Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Velocity Sellers podcast. I am your host, Velocity Pete, and today I am joined by Vincenzo Toscano to talk about a variety of different e-commerce topics. Vincenzo is the CEO and founder of Ecomcy, and I'm excited to get a little bit into exactly what they do there and more also on just the world of e-com and kind of how it's changing and ever growing and how sellers can adapt and kind of be prepared for these changes. So, Vincenzo, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me in the show. I've been following what you've been doing in the space for a while now. So it's definitely a pleasure to be here. And hopefully, I can share some wisdom with your community so they can have a successful journey in 2024. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we're talking about e-com. That's really the heart of it.
Yeah,
I know I've followed you for a little bit now too. I like watching your speeches at the various shows you go to. And I want to talk about mostly really about today about Amazon and Walmart. So I want to get into, your experience, who you are, kind of how you got your start in e-commerce, and also Ecomcy, and really just get into what you guys do there and what services you offer and how you can provide benefit for a lot of e-commerce sellers. So if you wouldn't mind starting with that, we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I'm going to start a little bit, about how I got into e-commerce in the first place. So my background actually has nothing to do with e-commerce. I jumped into e-commerce essentially by a side hustle, a mistake. I wanted to do some money on the side, but my major is actually aerospace engineering. Is what you would call a rocket scientist, right? I was working for Rolls-Royce here in the UK. So most people don't know that actually Rolls-Royce, where they make most of their money, is actually making engines for airplanes. And I was in their division doing some of their computer units for some of their engines. So essentially I started, selling online because I come from a family that's very entrepreneurship driven. They've been having a couple of business here and there. So, I wanted to essentially start having something of my own. Like I love engineering, I love technicality and complex things. But at the same time, I started to feel like I wasn't really in control of my time, how much money I could make and so on. And I wanted to find something that could give me the flexibility. And essentially Amazon FBA knocked on the door. That was over 7 years ago now. And I started selling online. Essentially, I started using my time after my job. I went home at 5. And then from 5 to 1, 2 in the morning, I would grind my Amazon business. And I did that for a while, until eventually, I kick off. So essentially then, the business reached a point that I was making more money with my Amazon business than my engineering salary. So that's where I started to thought like, maybe there is something here that I need to make sure I don't lose this momentum. So let me go deeper. And that's where I started going to a lot of events, a lot of masterminds. And that's where essentially, the opportunity of Ecomcy was born, because I saw so many founders that had amazing product ideas, amazing brands, but they were lacking execution on how to do things correctly to successfully sell on Amazon. And I say, yeah, there is a gap here. People is asking me questions. Whatever I answer to them is working on the business. So there's definitely a need for proper consulting. And that's how I founded the agency Ecomcy. And now we've been in the space for over 5 years. And we specialize on full account management. So most of our brands that we have under our belt are clients that come to us, and we take full operation from A to Z. So PPC, branding, ACO, international expansion, the whole basically food chain from A to Z to successfully grow and scale these brands into Amazon. Yeah, and Walmart as well.
Wow, so it doesn't sound like it was too bad of a mistake, like you said, that you got into e-com, because now you're doing great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I might have to have on for another episode of like a separate, maybe like a Velocity Sellers miscellaneous podcast where we talk about your aerospace career, because that sounds awesome in your engineering career. I'm always wowed by people in any walk of the field of STEM. I'm currently dating someone who's an occupational therapist who does healthcare,
nice.
And I could never ever in my life do healthcare. I am very content with marketing and with the podcast, because I'm not good with I could do blood, I donate blood a lot. Shout out to the American Red Cross. But I could not do healthcare. It's not for me. So before I gross myself out, I will not. We'll get back into e-com and business, which is again where I can operate in a little bit better. But yeah, very, very, very impressive. So yeah, it's kind of like what we do here. We're same thing, a full scale agency. So very, very neat. I will say that you seem to have a good understanding of Walmart, which is kind of why I brought you on today.
Yeah.
To really get into the weeds about the competition between Amazon and Walmart. Is this something that Amazon themselves should be scared of? To get to the really, clickbaity question, is Walmart coming for Amazon's e-com throne? What are we seeing that would prove yes or no? And kind of, if you can get into just again, what's happening on the Walmart versus Amazon front.
Yeah, so I mean, what we're seeing on the on the Walmart side of things is it's definitely having a good momentum of growth for the last couple of years. Of course, it's nothing to be compared to Amazon. I always say that. Like, people ask me all the time, on average, what is expected to generate in terms of revenue, for example, on Walmart compared to Amazon. And a good rule of thumb is that usually you can land between 10 to 20% of your revenue on Amazon as of right now. Sometimes, of course, you may find those unicorns that, we have examples like that with some for brands where Walmart actually is much better than Amazon, but usually that's not the case. Now, why Walmart, I always say, especially to brands that come to us, is as important element within their journey. The reason for that is because Walmart, when it comes to exposure in the United States, I would say is number one, right? We have pretty much Walmart every single corner of the country, right? And Walmart is being very methodical in terms of how they're penetrating e-commerce, because they know all these consumers that go to the physical stores, they can also overlap and potentially buy online, right? And I know for a fact, because I've been having some conversation with them and a part of their team, the whole goal in a few years' time is to integrate the whole ecosystem, like your experience at the physical stores with what you do at the online stores, right? And this is something that Amazon doesn't have. Amazon doesn't have really the amount of physical locations that Walmart does. And on top of that, you need to consider that every single location where Walmart has right now a store essentially is going to become also a fulfillment center, right? So imagine the speed at which Walmart is going to be able to deliver product to consumers in a few years' time, which Amazon is super efficient when it comes to that. But now you need to consider Walmart is in the backyard of every single American, pretty much, when it comes to proximity. So that's where I feel is the silver bullet that Walmart is saving very carefully. And at the same time, they are putting a lot of investment into their platform. Like, when I say investment, it's from the perspective of incentives, right? They're having all these huge incentives, which is right now there's a huge incentives for those that haven't joined Walmart, that if you join Walmart, Walmart give you 50% off on their referral fees. So that's huge. That means for essentially the first months that you join the platform, you're going to have 50% off. On top of that, they're giving discounts in terms of the fulfillment side of things. Sometimes they even give you credit on the advertisement side of things. Then giving Walmart Plus, which is a Prime free to the consumer. So they're investing a lot of money to create that brand loyalty, which I feel in a couple of years' time, if you get into Walmart right now, you're going to leverage it. Because I feel right now Walmart is like Amazon 2014-15, where people thought, oh yeah, Amazon is just going to be, a fad, it's going to go away, people not going to shop online. And those that start selling the garlic press in 2014, they're making millions of dollars right now, right? So Walmart is at this stage right now. So yeah, it's definitely an opportunity that you need to tap into 100%.
I didn't even consider the idea of the fulfillment center being the stores.
Exactly.
I haven't heard that before, which is interesting, because it seems such like an easy idea. That they can just ship
because
out.
All the stores have storage at the back, so essentially those are fulfillment. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so they already got the space for it. Wow, I really didn't think about that. That's a great point. They're already kind of in prime position, for a little Amazon pun. They're in prime position to really start opening their own FCs, and just not even really opening them. They're already there. They're just converting the stores into them. Not even really converting the stores. They're just using. I'm not even wondering what I'm saying. They're using the stores they already have built in the warehouses they already have built for the stores. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not think about that. But you raised a couple of things that I do want to Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add another thing that just came to my mind because I had this conversation. And it's also about the experience you're gonna have as a consumer, because now and this you can experience this if you go to, for example, Amazon Go, that these stores that you don't have any people interacting with you. You go inside, you go out, so they use cameras and all of that. Walmart is also doing some prototyping with that because they know in the future what could happen. Imagine you go to Walmart, you do some shopping, you go to the checkout, the whole system learns what you do on in terms of your routine of shopping, and then start giving you those recommendations in the marketplace, and then start delivering that to your home in terms of e-commerce, right? Or for example, let's say you buy something online and you don't have time to wait for get it delivered to your home. Walmart knows by doing analysis on your behavior that you go to Walmart every Tuesday, so they make sure on Tuesday when you go to Walmart, their product is waiting for you at the checkout, right? So that kind of technology is definitely coming, and that's where I think Amazon is gonna have a tough time to give that kind of experience to the consumers.
Whoa, that is wow. You heard it here. Maybe in a minute.
Yeah.
First,
that's coming. That's coming.
You heard it here, folks. That is insane. Some people might not be, maybe won't be too happy about that, but that is really cool. That is really, really cool. To be able to say, hey, like, and I know Amazon has their own. They have the BOPUS program. They got the Amazon Today program, but it's not. It doesn't. I mean, they don't have the level of physical locations that Walmart does. So, like I said, at least every state has probably 50 Walmarts, at the very, very least. Even places like Montana and Wyoming that are a little bit more, I don't want to say remote, but and there's not as big of a city there. Kind of thing, a city presence, but that is crazy. That is crazy that to think about that. And again, same day pickup is really cool, or even same day delivery is even better. And it sounds like they're in a really, really good position to start doing that. So, wow,
yeah,
like I said, I had not thought about that, but I'm still thinking about the fact that they can use their stores as fulfillment centers. It makes perfect sense.
I think that. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that's where I feel a lot of people struggle when it comes to having an online business. They all think about what is in for me right now, but they don't really have a project that is expand into 2, 3, 5 years down the line. And that's where I think most people is gonna struggle, because they're just looking for the shiny object. They're just looking for, the TikTok is the shiny thing. Let's focus on TikTok. Or then this other marketplace that is new, and they focus on that, but they don't try to time the market and see the trends and what is coming. And that's where I feel Walmart is definitely being something so undervalued for a lot of sellers, because they only see Walmart right now as something that, yes, there is not a lot of search volume, there's not a lot of revenue, but they don't understand the strategic play and the strategic moves Walmart can do as a giant in the industry. And if you actually can see this in advance, as I'm describing to you what is coming, you then understand that if you position yourself right now, you're going to set yourself for success in the next 3 to 5 years when Walmart explodes, and you came to Walmart now and got very good organic ranking because there was no competition, a lot of reviews and everything. You're going to be the one banking. And when people then see the shiny object of Walmart in 3 to 5 years time, it's going to be late.
Yeah, you're right on. Like you said, it's Amazon 2014. I'm the first person to sell a garlic press kind of thing. Wow, it's very exciting. And I believe it too. Like I said, Walmart has they've seen a lot of growth over the past couple of years, couple of months now. And Amazon obviously too is always growing. And it's hard to think, especially when you work mostly in the Amazon space, that Amazon will ever be dethroned as the e-com giant. And maybe Walmart does blow up, but maybe Amazon doesn't get, Amazon still reigns for the next couple of years. I was talking about this with another colleague earlier, and we were saying that Amazon and Walmart are almost like one's playing chess and one's playing checkers, where they both are played on the same board, but it's a different game. And I wanted to talk to you about a little bit about kind of Walmart's play. Like, is Walmart really leaning hard into selling online, or are they content with being the second place? They just want to get people in the store. Like, what's kind of happening there?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, Walmart as a marketplace is definitely an extension of them as a brand in terms of how they tap into new audiences, right? 100% retail is always going to be their priority. That's where they make most of their money, and I think that's going to continue to be the case in the coming years. However, they have understood that a lot of people, when it comes to shopping, they now start to doing a lot of price comparison online. They start to do a lot of window shopping online, and they want to make sure that that kind of behavior happens in Walmart app rather than in Amazon app, even if they end up going to the stores, right? Now, of course, they are putting incentives in place so you make the purchase on the actual platform, such as, for example, same-day delivery or next-day delivery. For example, when it comes to reviews, they are giving incentives of $3, $5 off to certain products. So you're incentivized to buy products to give a review and pretty much get momentum into the marketplace. So they are doing these little programs here and there and blasting their newsletter list and all of that to keep bringing some of the physical locations to online locations, which in this case the marketplace, because they know people is also changing a little bit their behavior of shopping, especially after COVID. They saw a huge shift from the amount of people that were going to Walmart stores to online shopping, and they essentially want to be careful that in a few years' time, if something like COVID happens again, they don't lose a ton of market share because people cannot go to locations and they will go to online. And given that in the assumption that Walmart haven't taken action and done a marketplace, they will go to Amazon Fresh, or they will go to other marketplaces, right? And they want to make sure that's not the case. And loyal fans, if they cannot go to a physical location, they can continue the Walmart journey online. Right?
Wow. Yeah. Again, something I hadn't thought about was that, God forbid, something like COVID ever happens again. I think the world might have a different reaction now that we've already been through one. But God forbid that ever happens again, and you either can't go into Walmart or you have a significant decrease in traffic. They want to make sure you can still order. That's very interesting. I had not thought about that either. So you're 2 for 2 so far on things that I had not thought about. That's great. It makes total sense too. I mean,
it's all about omni-channel at the end. It's becoming omni-channel, which is something applies to Amazon sellers as well. The reason why so many Amazon sellers struggle is because they see Amazon as their business, not as a channel, and they're struggling because as sometimes in certain niches, Amazon is getting tougher. If your whole cash flow is depending on one single point of failure, in this case, one channel, then you might struggle to keep the momentum of growth. That's why I always say expand your wings. Go to Walmart, go to open your D2C operations, try to do something with influencer marketing, try to sometimes do B2B, because when the rainy days come, you want to make sure that your business doesn't rely on a single channel. And that's exactly what Walmart has done. They know the online presence most likely is not the most profitable basically business units as of now, but it's essentially an insurance for the future that as retail starts to die, essentially they are setting themselves for success in the future.
No, it absolutely makes total sense to me. It's very interesting just to see it kind of, again, like I said, come to fruition here with them implementing this. And to go back to that really quick, to back to that analysis I made earlier, the chess versus checkers, do you think, again, and we talked about this a little bit already, you mentioned that Walmart not only, but their main moneymaker, their cash cow is the retails, people coming into the stores and having all the locations and buying products there. Do you think they'll ever maybe, and again, knock on wood, if something like COVID ever happens again, do you think they would ever try and make a push to be the number one e-com site? Do you think they would ever really want to, I don't want to say divert money away from retail, because I don't think they would, but given the chance, do you think they would try and knock Amazon out of the water with enough, resources? Do you think they could do it, really?
So I think when it comes to taking the crown of the marketplace, I think unfortunately they're a little bit late to the game, because when it comes to the awareness of what Amazon is super embedded in people's head right now in terms of online shopping. However, where Walmart can definitely win the battle is in the loyal fans that go to the physical locations and also provide the experience I told you. Like, imagine the ease of knowing that Walmart has all this data about you as a consumer, and based on the behavior you have from the physical location, they give you certain recommendations or send you certain products to your home, and you can do pickups at the physical locations, or you can do 1 hour, 30 minutes pickup. All these kind of things is where Amazon is going to drop the towel. Now, when it comes to the actual market share, I don't think Walmart will ever really take over. However, it will definitely take a big chunk from Amazon in the near future, because unfortunately on Amazon side of things, people have also started to lose a little bit of trust of Amazon as a marketplace because of all the bad press that is being received in terms of, people realizing that everything that you buy nowadays on Amazon is essentially sometimes a Temo or AliExpress quality, and people say, why I'm paying a premium on Amazon where I can get it for cheaper? And then we actually haven't talked about these other marketplaces. AliExpress and Temo are getting a huge market share, even if people don't mention them very often, because people is getting more savvy, especially it's becoming very price sensitive. And that's where I think Walmart can also be part of that strategy pricing, because something I didn't mention, Walmart as a marketplace is very price sensitive. If you try to sell anything over $25, $30, you're going to struggle, because people on Walmart have the connotation that Walmart is, best deals essentially, right? Very low prices. And as soon as you start going very high end in terms of pricing, you might lose certain traction. So it definitely feels that Walmart is going to tap into that low pricing tier that Amazon is losing because of, all this bad press and everything. And I think Amazon, with everything they're doing with branding, and you can see even at their events, all their events when it comes to Amazon, they are now very enterprise focused, and they are only targeting the Coca-Colas of the world, the Apples of the world, the Adidas. Now the conversation is not anymore about the small guys, it's about the $1 million brands. And I think the reason why Amazon is going down that direction is because they want to be known as a place where you buy, brands, right? Where Walmart, you buy more the domestic commodity stuff, right?
Yeah, something else I never thought, I wouldn't have thought about that either. I guess it's hard when you, I guess, are trying to buy something on Walmart for a high price. Like, well, I don't go to Walmart for high price things. We used to do our back to school shopping there because all the notebooks and the pens and stuff was just cheap. It was just the cheapest, and it was still good quality. It wasn't like it was bad. I did okay in school thanks to my Walmart notebooks. But it's very interesting. You mentioned also, I wanted to get into this too, the Temus and the Sheins, sort of the Wish.com clones. When I was just going to talk about this today too. I was a kid in the Wish.com era, and it was a little weird. I looking back now, I said, what was I thinking? I was just a kid with a new bank account that just opened with my first job. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this stupid thing on Wish.com. It's gonna be so cool. But yeah, I see a lot of posts about, Amazon should be scared. Temu is putting ads in the Super Bowl, which I have no idea how they afforded that. That blows my mind. And like, oh, I only order clothes on Shein.
Well, let's remember who is behind this app. I mean, let's remember Temu is an app that is Chinese, and they have funding from the government, so that's where the one is coming from.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Not really the same thing, I guess, with TikTok, but I do want to talk about TikTok, and is that maybe getting banned? But yeah, like these Temu and Shein guys that are kind of, I don't want to say cheapy knockoffs, but you buy cheap stuff from there. And I've actually seen some things from Shein in a thrift shop that I said, oh, this actually isn't the worst quality in the world. But overall, yeah. Will they ever really even be a threat to Amazon and Walmart?
I would say as a whole, no, because they definitely tap into an audience that I don't feel is really what Amazon wants to focus on in the long term. I feel the type of consumers that are starting to go to these apps are very price sensitive, and people that's really not going to have a very high purchase value basket in terms of consumer on the platform. So I think these people that are just looking for, pennies on the dollars. I feel the direction Amazon is taking the brand is definitely giving us also an explanation that that's not the avatar in the long term. Now for Walmart, yes, it could be, because Walmart focuses on low prices. So I would say actually Temu and the Shein of the world can be actually a better threat for Walmart itself, because Walmart, as of now, as a marketplace, is actually known for low prices already. So if Temu comes into the place and have even lower prices, that's where Walmart now says kind of in the middle, like it's not premium, it's not cheap, it's like what is Walmart, right? But again, that's where Walmart is trying to, of course, come out also with a lot of programs to help brands, because I also feel Walmart is definitely known for low prices, but they're also trying to make the platform very clean when it comes to avoid any dodgy business, any drop shipping, any copycats, any low quality products. When you apply to Walmart, they're being very strict with that. And that also gives me a signal that they don't want to be another Temo. They want to be just another Amazon, just with a different perspective in terms of the experience they give you with the retail integration.
No, that makes sense. Again, same thing goes back to the price competitiveness of Walmart versus these low guys. I said that. I said the same thing. I don't really see them being a threat to Amazon, but you bring up a good point you bring up a good point about why that would be a threat to Walmart. Maybe these guys come in and they say, but it's the same note. Is Alibaba and Walmart, are we seeing a lot of growth in, or are we seeing a lot of market share being stolen from Alibaba by Walmart right now with this explosive growth they're seeing? And do you think if, when they do explode in a couple of years, are they going to steal a lot from them? Because I would imagine they're maybe kind of similar in similar markets. They have similar shoppers, I would think, just with the low price quantity at least, but
yeah. So what we actually see more, at least on the Walmart vertical, is a lot of the growth also Walmart is having as a marketplace. Sometimes is overlap from retail to online, right? So sometimes that extra influx of sales and search volume on Walmart, we have seen that most of the time it's coming from physical locations, but it's also from people that are just tired of Amazon. That's the reality. We're seeing people that just fed up of bad experiences. And answering your Alibaba question, I think Alibaba as a group, where within Alibaba we have AliExpress. I think AliExpress is actually the one that might suffer, but more from Temo side of things, because Temo is being super aggressive on that vertical. But I would say at the end of the day, all these marketplaces, they fall into three baskets, right? The first basket is a branding, more premium side of things, which is where I think Amazon is going. Then we have the medium tier, that is like a marketplace where you don't find the cheapest or the most expensive, but it's actually more part of an ecosystem, which is what I think Walmart is trying to aim for. And then the Temos, the AliExpress of the world, that targeting people that is just looking to buy a t-shirt for $1, which is, I don't think, where Walmart, Amazon wants to go. So there's definitely going to be some overlap, because we definitely see when we do some research around our brands, there's people that do a lot of window shopping and do price comparison. That's definitely something we see. But when it comes to actually making the purchase, the decision maker are usually two things. Is people usually compare all these marketplaces, and whoever gives the fastest shipping and the best pricing is the winner. And fastest shipping, that's where Temo, Shein, and AliExpress lose the battle. So if you have something that you need fast, which a lot of things people nowadays want fast because of, how people used to shopping, that's where Walmart and Amazon is winning 100% the battle. But if people is more into things that maybe it's not time sensitive, because it's just something trendy I saw on Instagram that looks funny, but I don't need it for this weekend, they go to Temo to buy this new gadget that is just something trendy on a TikTok, right? So that's usually the other thing you have to take in consideration. What is the driver behind the person? Either time or either money. Depending on that, that's how they choose as well.
It makes sense. Like I said, Temu and Shein really can't compete with Amazon. I have heard that, and I am fully saying I do not shop on Shein. Again, I actually am a big thrifter. I like to thrift all my clothes, so you will not see me buying a lot of clothes online. Maybe shoes, but even then I like to try them on. So I don't know. But most of my clothes are thrifted. But I have heard from friends that do shop on Shein that it doesn't come in as fast as Amazon. You're never going to be 2-day shipping, except for now Amazon obviously has the same day pickup, and if you could pick it up in store. So I guess that's not true. I should never say never, because we are actually beating now 2-day shipping. But for the most part, you're not going to beat Amazon's logistics style. If they own the dynasty, they own the market there, I would say. And people have said that Shein has pretty good customer service. They actually do pretty good returns, where I think they give you the same grace period as Amazon. It's like 30 days. So
Yeah. I just would feel lazy to return a
Yeah.
$10 item.
Yeah. And it's different when you're buying something huge. There was a poll I saw on LinkedIn that said, how much would you be willing to spend on an Amazon product? And I said, well, any amount, because you get a 30-day return window. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no risk.
You could buy, you could buy houses on Amazon. They have those foldable. Look that up. It's a foldable house.
The modular ones.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
have seen them. Yeah,
crazy what people are putting on Amazon these days. And I think that also is another factor of, when you go on Amazon and you know that what you're buying, you look at the content, you look at the images, you look at the bullet points, or even if you look at the seller, look at kind of what their brand name is, it's going to be quality. It's probably going to be of some decent quality. I think Temu and Shein have fallen into that Wish.com kind of category where you look at that and say, oh, that's, I don't even know what it is, but it's not going to be quality from this website because it's from Temu and because it's from Shein and all these other places. Maybe even some normal people that don't have a lot of e-com experience would look at Alibaba and say, I'm not going to buy something off Alibaba. That's, that's from China. That's going to be bad product. It's going to be bad quality. Meanwhile, they're wearing a million things made in China. Every product in their home is made in China. But it's interesting just the brand awareness and the brand perception that these e-com brands get looked at just from experience. And obviously they've been doing this for a while, but it's very interesting to see how people kind of are reacting to it. And I don't know, maybe if that changes, if that flips and some people's, more people start buying things from Temu and they say, oh, actually it's pretty good quality, or, oh, it's X, Y, and Z, which is, again, a very wishful thinking. But
I mean, that's a little bit what is happening. We have seen people that now they buy from Temu and they say, oh, but this looks very similar to what I bought in Amazon, but I paid 10 times the price, right? So, and let's be honest, we have to be mindful because a lot of us think that most people know how private label works, but the reality is like 95% population doesn't know. And the reason why I mentioned this is because people, when they were shopping on Amazon, most of the time they thought that Amazon was the one selling directly. They didn't know that most people don't know that it's just sellers selling on Amazon. And most people think that products that come into Amazon, they have some kind of basing on extra quality check or anything because Amazon pictured the platform as premium. But now people have started to become savvy and know that actually these are products that are the same as Temu sometimes are coming from China. And they say, why I'm paying extra amount of money if I can get the same directly from China? So, and that's actually something that to some niches is becoming dangerous because now the lack of basically knowledge that allow you to do this business model, which is you were creating a private label on top of a product, generic product, now it is ruining the margin for some people because they're now just selling something generic. So that's why more than ever in Amazon, you have to be certain that while you're selling something that definitely is unique from the perspective either trademark or design or features or something that can be unique that not just a Chinese seller can come and copy it and put it on Temu,
No, it is interesting. It is interesting. I would imagine a lot of Amazon sellers wouldn't maybe want to go over to Temu, but I could see a lot of Temu sellers wanting to go over to Amazon, just putting these products on there. If they're not already on there, jumping on these listings that are maybe up there already. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Another great point that makes me think about, oh man, like is that going to happen in the next couple of years? Like, I mean, it's already happening now, but is that really going to start to really impact the market and really kind of demonstrate that, hey man, this is not something to be taken lightly? Maybe I don't really see Temu being much of a threat to Amazon ever. Baby, I don't know. I can never say never. I can really never say never because most times when I say it,
you never know the most they can do.
I would say 99% positive that Temu and Shein, these companies, will not be a threat to Amazon and even to Walmart. I think you're right. I think Walmart's bread and butter, again, is the retail. And unless Temu opens a retail store, which would be very scary, I don't know. So. I don't think the U.S. would allow them. If they're going to ban TikTok, I don't know that they would allow Temu to open up a physical location store. But and speaking of TikTok, I do want to get into that a little bit too while we have time. Just taking a look at kind of what's happening there. Like, is that going to be a threat now for these other e-com platforms? I know social media is that buying things on social media is now, I mean, probably the biggest thing since buying things on Amazon, really. So what is happening at TikTok that's make them so popular, and are they a threat?
Yeah, so I mean, TikTok and has created this new vertical that's called social commerce, right? So now essentially people, as you mentioned, they shop through social media, and we see how other platforms such as, for example, Facebook and Instagram are allowing this. And now with integration with Shopify, Amazon has just released a new beta directly with a partnership with Meta, where now you're gonna be able to connect your Amazon store with your Instagram and basically Meta store. So essentially now people from Instagram will able to is gonna be able to check out within Amazon on Instagram itself. This is something that is in beta right now. Only enterprise brands have access. But yeah, social commerce is becoming very big. Now, going back to TikTok, I would say TikTok, it depends on the type of product. It's definitely growing very fast, and we see huge success with some of our brands. But I would say it has to be the right product, right? Because you're not going to be able to, in TikTok, be very successful if your product is the typical product that is not influencer friendly. Let's say you're selling a chair or a table or something that is boring to show in camera. You cannot really make something engaging. You're going to struggle, right? TikTok is more for the typical product that creates an engagement connection with the consumer. It creates that need to have an impulse buy because it looks funny, it looks trendy, it looks unique, and I want to have it now. And therefore, it has to also be aligned with what usually makes impulse buy happen, which is pricing. If you try to sell something that is cool, is trendy, is new, is something out of the norm, but the price is $200, you're not gonna have that kind of a virality that we see with products that are $7, $10 that go and make hundreds of sales in a day. So that's some of the things you have to be mindful. In terms of how it works, very simple. In terms of the science behind TikTok is very content intensive kind of a strategy, right? You need to have a lot of content from terms of videos, working with influencer, UCG. So it's very, it's not as automated as you may have found with Amazon. Within Amazon, you just create a listing, you do some PPC, which you keep optimizing, but doesn't require this kind of grind week after week of creating a new kind of nice a piece of content, like in this case a video, that is the key between if the product is successful or not. So you actually now require that kind of experience from understanding how you create a piece of content in 10-20 seconds that creates that element of, wow, I need to buy this. And that's something a lot of people unfortunately don't have this skill. So that's why in TikTok I'm seeing that the success stories that I find usually when I dig deeper is usually people have experience with branding, people have experience with creating content, people have experience with influencer marketing, because if you don't know how to create a video that in 3 seconds convince me to not keep scrolling, you're also going to have a tough time in TikTok. So those are some of the points.
You're not going to convert. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's not as simple as Amazon. You update your images every, 2 or 3 months, or when you get a new product or something like that. You got to be constantly putting out, not even just regular image. Yeah,
every week.
It's video content too, which is, in my opinion, so much harder. As someone that kind of is in the content creating space, and sometimes my team will say, "Hey, I need you to make a video about the new Amazon fees, or about this, or about our stuff." It's not easy. Even for experienced people, actors do more than just one take. Professional, highly paid actors, they don't do it in one take. So and I'm not comparing myself to famous actors.
Yes.
Maybe a little.
I mean, you can use AI. You can use AI, and we do that, and it helps a lot. But at the end of the day, if you only use AI over and over again, essentially also conversion is gonna drop because people notice that, So you also have to add some kind of actually element of actually reality. In fact, some of the best videos that work for us is that the videos that are the most traditional, like a person in a random kitchen, not a lot of lighting, bad audio, but it looks, using the product, it looks so natural that you connect and you feel like, oh, that's a normal person like me. Those are usually the best videos compared to the really mint professional edition ones. So but at the end of the day, it requires a lot of quantity. That's the thing. And you don't have a system that is efficient, you're gonna struggle in TikTok, because it's not just about putting the product up there. You need to keep creating content. Now, on the other side, though, you can use TikTok as a way to not only support your journey in TikTok, but actually support Amazon business. And we do that. Like once you open your TikTok shop, you can use the affiliate program, where is where you put your product at the disposal of other influencers to actually apply to your product and promote it in exchange of a commission. And that's the one that actually can allow you to create a lot of content without you being the person that creates the content. And most of the time, this can help you on two fronts. One front is creating that virality on TikTok, which again is something that if you try to do with your own content, it takes time. But at the same time, this is going to allow you to automate a lot of what you are mentioning. Like these people do the content for you because they need to make a living out of this commission. Now, as these things get viral, what we actually have started to see, you usually don't see a huge lift of sale on TikTok, but we see a huge lift of things such as your branded search terms or your actual product in Amazon going up, because a lot of people, when these videos become viral and the influencer mentioned the product in the video, they don't trust TikTok as a platform. So usually what they do, they go to Amazon to see if they can buy this product, and this spike of traffic that comes from TikTok by nature, from out of curiosity, sometimes we have seen in some cases having a huge uplift in our organic ranking, which then reciprocate in our performance metrics within the Amazon bubble, right? But that's how you can actually leverage TikTok to connect and leverage on your Amazon business. Yeah.
I love the brand referral bonus. Big, huge proprietor of saying, hey, go give me your social media and let me put this link in there to get you this 10% off of your Amazon purchase. And you're right, brand awareness is a huge, 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 huge tool. I've heard from Amazon people and from my friends that are in the Amazon space that all are saying that social media is, and this was back in, I guess, maybe around like February, January, but they were saying social media is going to be the biggest thing in 2024, is how much can you push your product and your brand to as many people as possible for as cheap as possible, or as on social media and just putting TikToks up. Sure, you can pay for ads and you can pay to promote your content, but for the most part, you don't have to. It's just free. If you go viral for a video, that's amazing. I used to work. This is not similar to social media, but I used to I was a brand manager in another life, and again, I was at a former agency. I was a brand manager, and I worked for this, or one of the accounts I managed was this jam company, super, super good stuff. And they went on Good Morning America, and that's, again, a pretty popular TV show. I mean, my mother and I watched it sometimes when I was home for summer, vacation from school, and their sales went crazy, through the roof from this simple one-time. They were on there for maybe 10 minutes promoting their product, but it was crazy just how quickly that took them. And now on social media, you can get that sort of traction almost every week. If your video goes viral and people are clicking into your Amazon store and they're saying, "Oh, I need this product. This video is hilarious," or "Wow, this product's super cool. That's a really cool use for. I love that video it was in. I need this product." You can really do a lot of damage with social media these days, which is,
I know,
interesting.
For sure, you can.
Interesting to see. Yeah,
you do.
But
you do.
Like I said, is TikTok, again, the theme of this is this a threat to Amazon, to Walmart? You think?
I would say more than a threat, I would say is actually a tool, right? So we are using TikTok a lot for supporting our Amazon and even Walmart exposure. So as I say, we're using the affiliate program to automate how many influencers we get on a daily basis, which, by the way, you can find bots out there that you can automate how you approve all these affiliates in bulk. And then we also do some of the, because when it comes to TikTok, you have two ways of doing affiliate. You can either get them to apply to you and you approve them, or you can do a la carte. You find them and you basically message them, which we also do. So this is a very quick win because it's free. There's no fee associated with that, like other platforms that charge you to connect with influencers. And the worst thing that can happen is that they create a piece of content and doesn't convert. But at the same time, it's eyeballs that could potentially, even if 1, 2, 3 consumers, that's a win regardless. So try to do that. And in terms of threat, I don't think ever TikTok will be able to catch up even with Walmart, because they don't have the infrastructure when it comes to fulfillment. So they are very behind on that. They are very strong on social. They are very strong on the actual digital side of things. But when it comes to the raw foundation of having a marketplace, which is logistics and all the backend interconnection of how to get a product from point A to point C, they're really not very behind, unfortunately. So I think TikTok is definitely going to be a platform that's going to keep growing in terms of social commerce, where people is going to have a lot of interactions with their, favorite influencers and so on. But at the end of the day, for convenience, for speed, for safety, I think Amazon and Walmart are still going to be the winners. Yeah.
No, I agree. TikTok, I mean, it is blowing up. It is this really super popular. Now you can buy things from your favorite influencers, all this stuff, and all these other candidates are putting stuff on there. Other sellers are opening up shops, but I think this is kind of a flash in the pan. I don't, especially if they get banned. Not to make it rhyme, but if TikTok does get banned, this is all for naught. We'll see if an American company can buy them. I don't know that one will, but we'll see. But if it gets banned, it doesn't mean anything. But on the thought process that it doesn't, I still don't think this will ever be, because you're right, it doesn't have locations like Walmart.
It's part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's actually an opportunity for you to expand your omni-channel strategy. And I think the more channels actually that becomes healthy is good news for you as an Amazon seller, because at the end of the day, you don't want a single marketplace to control the whole market, because if that's the case, that means your hands are tied in terms of where you can diversify, and you want to have actually multiple options. So the fact that more marketplaces come into the play, that's actually good news for you, because that means they're doing the hard job for you, which is finding new audiences for you to then tap into.
Yeah. Now we'll see. Like I said, it's all, you never say never. Which what we've learned today. Yeah. And the fact that things like, it's hard to think that you'll ever go to places like TikTok, or even now on Facebook. Obviously, you can buy stuff on Facebook now, right from you don't need to leave the app. You can go and buy stuff, Amazon products on Facebook, without having to go to Amazon. You can buy them right there. It's so seamless. I just saw a video of it today. It's you connect your Facebook and Amazon one time, and then when you ever see an ad on Facebook, you push the button and boom, you're buying the product. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nice. It's just strange to think that, maybe now Amazon is now partnering.
It's like the Buy with Prime program. Like, we use that with a lot of our brands, and it's actually helping us significantly to improve our website conversion, because now we're able to give our clients a second option in terms of how they can pay, how they can receive the product. And if a client now can have the experience that you offer in your website as a D2C brand, but have at the same time the speed and trust of paying when it comes to Amazon, like, you're combining the best of both worlds, and it's actually a good option for a lot of brands as well.
Yeah. And shout out to one of our former guests, Corey Brown, mentioned this, that it's interesting. Amazon was very lone wolf. They wanted to do it all themselves. They wanted to go at it. They would want partnerships with other people. And maybe now I think they're kind of saying, shoot, we should have maybe not done that. We should have had more opportunity to kind of grow this even more than they've already grown, and reach out to new customers now if they partner with these social things, because now they're partnering with Meta. Now Bezos and Zuck did the handshake. And now, here we are doing this again. Like I said, social commerce. It's the big thing this year. And they predicted it back in 2024, or back in 2024 and 2024. They predicted it back in February and January, when they were telling us, like, hey, social media is going to be big this year. Make sure you're pushing that to your partners, and that everyone's using, driving traffic. Really what it is driving traffic from somewhere else to Amazon. But yeah, it's crazy to think that, again, what's happening and what's moving forward in the world. Another reason why you can never say never, because Amazon's partnering with Facebook. That's something that I don't think anybody would have predicted a couple of years ago. So, but yeah, Vincenzo, any final thoughts for our viewers on just really the subject of Amazon and Walmart and these other e-com spaces? That any key takeaways that I know I've taken a lot away myself, but anything that our viewers should really anything you want to hammer home about our topics today?
Yeah, so I would say the takeaway for you out of this episode is that you have to understand that omnichannel is definitely the way to go. And as we've been having this conversation, you can definitely see how each platform have different strengths when it comes to selling into those. And at the same time, it's a huge opportunity, because that means if you combine the strength of social commerce of TikTok, the strength of Amazon to create a brand, the strength of Walmart to give you and tapping you into retail, which, by the way, we even didn't talk about the opportunity of Walmart. Like if you perform very well online, we have already clients that we have managed to also pitch and get into the stores. That's even the next level, right? So again, when you understand this whole ecosystem and understand that that's actually the way of scaling a brand, you're gonna stop falling to the trap, which what I see a lot of Amazon sellers, that they think the answer is only Amazon. Actually, we see how these players are bringing more solutions to the table, and you should leverage it, because if you don't, your competition is gonna do it, and then in a few years' time, when you realize you lost the train, it's gonna be too late.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, if when Walmart blows up in a couple of years, you definitely want to be on it before it's already, it's too late, before it's oversaturated. Like you said, you want to get in there. Yeah, I definitely would also emphasize the whole, like you said, omni-channel. Same thing with your regular finances. You shouldn't rely on one source of income. I'm sure a lot of people don't. So why would you rely on one source of income for your business either? So absolutely, that was one of the big things I wanted to again, thank you for saying. One of the points you made that was really, it was like, oh wow, that makes a whole lot of sense. And I'm still, this happened 50 minutes ago, but I'm still thinking about Walmart has their distribution centers already set up in every backyard in America. Craziness.
Yeah, they have the secret weapon there. Like they have a lot of fulfillment centers that basically are camouflage, and whenever they press the button, they're gonna be ready. Which they're already doing. In fact, they're already doing it, just that most people don't know, but they're already using their stores for moving inventory around.
Yeah, like same day delivery and stuff too. And I'm sure if I had a product in if I had a product in Pennsylvania on the East Coast where I am, and I needed it in New Jersey, I'm sure that's an easy, hey, can you go drop this pallet off to them? Something like that too. Oh man, it's crazy. It's great. It's scary to think that, I'm very biased. I love Amazon. I think Amazon will be the king forever, but you can never say never, I guess. That's another big takeaway, is never say never, everybody. Never say never, especially in the world of e-com.
I know. That's what people say about eBay when it's eBay right now. So,
Well, Vincenzo, thank you so much for coming on today. This is an amazing episode. I really want to thank you for coming on and talking to us about just the ever-changing world of e-com. I really appreciate you having you on today.
Thank you, Pete. It's a pleasure. And, thank you so much for the opportunity. And for everybody watching, feel free to reach out anytime. Happy to give you, some wisdom about how you can scale.
Yeah. I'm going to include Ecomcy's link in the description down below, also as well as Vincenzo's LinkedIn, to be able to connect with them in both spots there. So check the links down below. And everybody, thank you for watching so much. I am Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.